Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Gayle, and this practice is going to be a fun flow where we're going to work on the whole body, the movement of our spine, the connection with our breath, and being able to add your own unique flavor to whatever pose we're doing, whatever transition we're doing. So really tapping inside of you and letting your creative spirit flourish and fly. So let's start by closing our eyes. And begin to do some cat-cow spinal movements with your breath. And connect with your breath so that the inhale is pulling you forward, opening up across your chest. And the exhale is pushing you back, rounding your spine. And let yourself be completely absorbed in this moment, this movement, this breath. Nice, come back to center. You can always close your eyes anytime, but let's reach our right arm behind us and reach over in like a big arc, bringing your right hand to your left knee. And then reach the left hand behind you, and as you reach across, let your right hand start sliding off your left knee as you bring your left hand to your right knee. And just continue this nice flowing motion here. Nice gentle twisting, a little bit of shoulder stretching. And just getting in with the flow of your breath and the flow of life. Nice, one more here. And this time, cross your right wrist on top of your left wrist, interlace your fingers with your right finger on top, pinky on top, and then curl your hands in towards your chest and open your arms open. Notice, I find that the closer my elbows are together, the easier it is to straighten your arms out, but if they don't straighten all the way, that's fine. So begin to roll out. This time, as you roll in, bow forward. Then inhale, lift up and open. And exhale, round and bow. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, round and bow. Inhale, back up. Release your arms and just cross the left wrist on top of the right with the left pinky on top. And same movements. So inhale, you open up. And exhale, curl in. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. And release your hands. Let's come onto our knees. And you can sit on a block or a pillow if this isn't comfortable. Or you could even, sit cross-legged. So for me, it's a little more comfortable sitting on my heels. So now we're going to rotate the palms up. Place your palms down and think of, as we move the hands, that you're going to try and keep the wrists down and as much of the top of your hand as you can. Now, since the top of our hands aren't flat, they won't stay completely grounded. But just begin to rotate your fingers in and out and around, and then come forward. So you might have to bend your elbows a little bit more. I noticed my right wrist was coming up quite a bit. So just maybe get a little lower to the floor and just do the best you can and kind of have fun watching your fingers spin around. It's almost like you're spinning on your wrist. Notice how the shoulders get involved when we do this. And then bring the heels of your hands together, and we're going to roll the wrists. So think of like trying to keep the outside of the wrist together and then the inside of the wrist, and then we'll reverse the circles. And now interlace your fingers with your shoulders relaxed. Begin to do some wrist waves. So the right elbow lifts up and then the movement waves across your arms. Now let's start with the left elbow reaching. And really give your wrists time to find the fullness of the flexion of the wrists. And just like an energy wave. And reach your arms up and out. Reach out like you're taking a big yawn. And then let's come on to our hands and knees and tabletop. We're going to move our body, like focusing on different areas of the body. So first, just begin to move however you want to move. Just very spontaneous. with your own flavor, with your own way of movement, your own creativity. And now let's start trying to move the hips and keeping the rest of the spine relatively still. So we're moving the hips in circles. And then switch the direction of the circle. And now let's try and move the rib cage around in circles. So notice how this feels different than what we just did, even though the spine is all connected and there's going to be movement in the whole spine. We're focusing more on the rib cage. Let's switch directions. And now just a little shoulder flossing. So keeping your elbows straight, just push your back away from the floor and then let it sink towards the floor. And come back to neutral and just move the pelvis. So not big cat-cow movements, just focusing on the pelvis. A little lift of the tailbone, a little anterior tilt, and then a little posterior tilt. And notice the difference in energy that happens when you're anteriorly tilting and when you're posteriorly tilting. When you do a posterior tilt, it creates a little lift in your belly and tends to engage the glutes a little bit more. So now we're gonna just bring your right hand out to the right a little bit, stretch your left leg back, and really point out through your toes. And reach your left arm up and over, lift up through your left ribs and contract the right ribs a little bit. And inhale, reach your arms up, bend your elbow, bend your knee, tap, and reach up and back. So you're kind of circling. And the movement doesn't have to be exact. Just kind of playing around, getting things opened up. Next time you circle up, bend your left knee, reach for the top of your left foot with your left hand. Cradling your foot, kick your foot back and kick your chest forward. Opening up here. And release your foot, pull your knee in, cross your left foot in front of your right knee, and then spread your feet apart so you can sit back in between your legs with your knees stacked. You can always sit again on a pillow or a blanket, or you can have your legs just cross-legged. And then we're gonna reach over, right arm to the left side, come back to center, reach the left arm across, and just make it a really kind of fluid motion so that you're having fun here. Now come back to center, hold onto your feet, and begin to cat-cow. Next time you come up, we're going to try and stand on our knees. So you can use your hands, or you can maybe just lift up, bring your knees down, tuck your tailbone under. So this kind of brings us into an anterior tilt. See if you can bring a little posterior tilt action into this. Interlace your hands behind your back and puff your chest up. Release your hands, and we're going to step the left foot forward. So step the left foot forward. Bring your left hand to your left thigh. Reach your right arm up and over. And come on back down. Bring the right hand down and twist to the left. Bring the left hand back to the left thigh and reach over to the left. And bring your right hand down and twist. Nice. Come forward. Bend your left knee forward, lowering your hip towards your heel. The back leg, the toes can be pointed or tucked. The knee can be down or lifted. Just take a moment to really open up that right hip flexor, the hip flexors, and get a nice movement into your left ankle. You kind of sink your ribs from side to side and push down through your feet, straighten both legs as you send your hips back. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Bring your right knee down. You can come down onto your forearms or stay on your hands and just bring the left knee closer to your shoulder and then away and back and forth. And come back up onto your hands and step back into your tabletop. And just take a moment just to move around. We'll do the same thing with the left side. So bring your left hand out to the side, reach your right toes back, reach your right arm forward, and lift up through your right ribs. So you find a little stretch here, a little tension. And inhale, reach your arm and leg up, bend your elbow and your knee, and just start to reach around and do these circles. The next time you're lifted, bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand for your right foot, kick your foot back and your chest forward. And release your foot, point your toes, bring your right toes in front of your left knee, stack your knees, and sit down in between your heels. And then we'll just stretch from side to side. Moving with your breath. Nice. Come back to center, hold your ankles, and begin to do some cat-cow movements here. And then let's come up onto our knees, find a little balance, maybe a little bit of a posterior tilt. Then step your right foot forward, bringing your right hand to your right thigh, reach your left arm up and over. And bring your left hand down and twist to the right. Once more, bring your right hand to your right thigh, reach, and come back into the twist. Nice, bring your right knee forward. Think of sinking your hips to your heel and letting the back thigh lower a little bit. But being mindful of the sensations and of the feelings, making sure that you adjust and modify as needed. And then shift your hips back. And then come forward again, bring your right forearm in between your right hand on the inside of your right leg, and just begin to open that right knee out to the side, back and forth. Nice, come back to center, come back onto your hands, lift your back knee up, straighten your legs. And bring your back knee down, come back in a tabletop. And again, just let your spine move spontaneously. Walk your knees back a little bit, sit your hips back on your heels, and as you inhale, round and come all the way forward into your cobra, opening up across the chest. And then exhale, glide back into child's pose. Again, inhale, round forward, lowering your hips into your cobra, opening up across the chest, and exhale, glide back. We'll do something a little bit different this time. So inhale, come forward, but bend your elbows, lowering your chest toward the floor. Lift your feet up towards your hips, and then roll it out into your cobra. Open up. Again, glide back, hips to heels. Inhale forward, lift your knees up, bend your elbows, lower your chest and chin, and then straighten your legs as you curl up into your cobra. Glide back into child's pose with your toes tucked, and lift up and back, downward facing dog. Just begin to move around here. Walk your feet forward to your hands. Lift and spread all your toes. Sprinkle the toes down, hug your legs in, press into the whole sole of your foot, big toe mound, pinky toe mound, center of the heel, and rise all the way up. Press your hands together and lower your hands to your heart center. And just pause in your Tadasana. Finding that internal lift balanced with the grounding energy. And then your next inhale, reach your arms up as you reach your heels up, coming up onto your tiptoes. And slowly lower down. Inhale, reach up again. And exhale, slowly lower. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. And this time we're going to lift up into a one-legged Tadasana and come into tree pose. So inhale, reach your arms up, pull your left knee up. And then externally rotate your hip, place your foot on your inner thigh. Think of blossoming out through your fingertips. And slowly come on back down. So other side, inhale, pull the right knee up. Externally rotate your hip, place your foot on your inner thigh. Reach out through your fingertips like branches reaching toward the sun. And slowly lower down, roll out the shoulders. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let your hands step back to plank. And slowly lower all the way down. Inhale, rise up, cobra. Exhale, lower, walk your hands forward so your hands are a little bit further forward of your shoulders and straighten your arms. Wanting another cobra here. Trying to bring that curve up into your upper back. And now we're going to lower the right forearm down. Pick the left leg up, stretch it back. Lower your thigh down, squeeze your heel towards your hip, and then reach back for your hand. And think of curling your toes under as well. So as you're stretching your quads, see if you can stretch your toes, the top of your foot, the front of your ankle. And remember to just if it's feeling really tight, don't fight the sensation of your body trying to release from this, but just do a little give and take. And release your foot. Same thing, other side, lift the right leg up, stretch it back, lower down, squeeze your heel towards your hip, reach back for your foot, and see if you can stretch out those toes as you stretch out the quads. Nice, release your foot. Come onto your right forearm and onto your right side. Bend your knees about halfway to 90 degrees, so about 45 degrees. And then just lift and lower out of your shoulders. So you know what it feels like to lift and lower. Now lift up out of your shoulder so there's a nice action of upward movement here. And then bring your left hand to your left hip. Straighten your left leg. Push into your hand and lift your hips up. Lift your left leg up. And then we're going to lower the hips and the leg and lift up. And lower and lift and lower and lift, lower, lift. About 4 more. You might want to think of pressing your hips forward a little bit. And we'll just do 1 more. Nice. Lower down. So try to activate the glutes, wake up the glutes a little bit. Then turn to your left side. Bend your knees about halfway, straighten your right leg. Lift out of your left shoulder and lift your hips up, lift your leg up. And then lower and lift and lower and lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. 4 more. Lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Last one. Okay. Come back onto your belly. Come onto your forearms and just take a little break, a little rest. Think of lengthening out your low back and puffing up through your chest, opening across the shoulders. You slide your hands back, find your cobra again. And exhale, lower forward, tuck your toes. Press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, step it all the way forward. Rotate the back foot open. We're coming into triangle pose. So hug your right hips underneath, open up across the left shoulder, float your left arm up. Actively press your feet into the floor and stretch out through your spine. Nice, lower the top hand down. Push into your hands, float your foot up and back, down dog splits. And lower the right leg down. Inhale, the left leg up. Exhale, hug your foot in, step forward, rotate the back foot open, tuck your left hip in, open up, triangle pose. Again, find those places where you can really activate and charge up your muscles, and the places where you can soften and relax. Trying to find a balance between the two. Nice, lower your top hand down, step back, down dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, step it all the way forward. This time, pivot both feet, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Begin to bend from side to side. Next time we bend into the right knee, slowly lower down. You can use your hands or not. Lower your hips all the way to the floor. So your right knee is bent, and maybe your right knee is right next to your right shoulder. So first, stretch your arms out to the side. Now, if your knee is up high, you can see if you can reach your hands back and maybe find a bind. And if your hands won't reach, that's okay. You can keep your arms out to the side. Nice, release your hands. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over and across. And just bow over your leg. Making those little movements that help you to feel like the many different sensations that are available in each pose. Now sweep your right arm up and back behind. Sweep your left arm forward. Lift your hips up. Press your hips forward. And lower back down. Bring your right foot back forward again. And we're going to step back up into our forward fold. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So bend into the left knee. Lower your hips down slowly. Reach your arms out to the side. Press your knee into your shoulder and press your shoulder into your knee. And you either stay here or you can reach back. Maybe your hands find each other. Find a nice inner lift. Maybe a little movement here. And you can release your hands. Bring your left foot to the inner right thigh. Reach your left arm behind you and reach over and across and bow over your leg. So you could take this opportunity to give your foot a little massage, to point and flex, or to any other kind of little movements that you choose to do. And come back up, swing your left arm up and behind you, lift your hips up and forward. And come on back down, lift the left knee up, lean forward, come back into your wide-legged forward fold. This time, lift your heels, bring the heels in with the toes turning out. Press your legs into your inner thighs and squeeze your inner thighs. Press your hands into your inner thighs, squeeze your inner thighs into your hands. Take a big breath in, and on your exhale, twist over to your left, letting the right shoulder come across. Inhale back through center, and exhale, twist to the right. Let's go one more time each side. Nice, come back to center, cactus your elbows, and then we'll straighten our arms, straighten our legs, and bend the elbows, lift the heels up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Plant the heels. This time, interlace your fingers behind your head, and then just tilt over to the right. Maybe you tap your right elbow to your right knee, maybe not. And other side. You don't have to go all the way. You could just move from side to side. Maybe start to feel a little burning in your inner thighs. And now come back up to center. Release, actually keep your hands where they are. Now we're just going to turn the left foot in a little bit, turn the right foot out, lean forward into the right foot. And bring the left leg up into tree pose. From here, you can reach your arms back, reach the leg up and back, keep the shoulders lifting, spread out through your fingers. And then as we reach back with our toes, we're going to start to externally rotate, so we kind of land back in goddess pose. And just a little movement here. So this is a work in progress for me. I'm not as smooth as I would like to be yet, but sometimes I have, like, it goes really smoothly, sometimes a little choppy. So just be okay with where you're at. Again, bring your hands behind your head and tilt to the right and to the left. And one more time, back to the right and to the left. Come on back up. Pivot your right foot in, pivot your left foot out. Step forward into your left leg. Bringing your right foot into your tree pose. Reach your arms up and reach back into your warrior three. And step back into your goddess pose. We'll just shift from side to side. We'll try that 2 more times each side, see how it goes. And if you want to challenge yourself more, like this is something I'm working on, but instead of like turning one foot, then the other foot, and then stepping forward, you could try and do it kind of all in one movement. And reach back, warrior three. Step back into your goddess pose. And just any little movements here that you want to kind of prepare you for stepping into tree pose on the other side. And back to warrior three. Step back, goddess pose. Again, maybe a little bouncing, maybe a little lifting. And then again, turn to your right, pulling your left knee up, finding your tree pose. And reach back, warrior three. Step back into your goddess pose. And then other side. See if you can step right up into tree pose. Back to warrior three. Back into goddess. And then heel toe your feet in. Turn to face the front of your mat. Lower down into a squat. Press your elbows out into your knees. Hug your knees into your elbows and see if you can lengthen through your spine. And lower your fingertips to the floor. Lift your hips up. Parallel your feet. And just let your head dangle. Maybe a little swaying here. Now bend your knees. Lower your hips down. Sit back. Float your legs up, maybe float your arms up. And start to lower down to the ground. Hug your knees into your chest and just circle around. And take one knee in each hand and circle in opposite directions. And bring your feet down, shift your hips over to the right. Open your arms out to the side, pick your knees up, and twist over to your left. So you can keep your right shoulder down, maybe even turn your head to the right. Let everything relax here. Now from here, we're going into a straight-legged twist. So all we're going to do is straighten the top leg forward, straighten the bottom leg back. And if you want, you could bend your left knee, grab a hold of your left foot with your right hand. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths. Maybe make some little adjustments if that feels good. If you were holding your left foot, release it now. Bring your knees back into that twist with your knees together. Then pull your right hip down. Shift your hips over to the left and twist your knees over to the right. Turn your head to the left and just relax here for a few breaths. And you can straighten your left leg out to the right, maybe catching your left foot with your right hand. Straighten the right leg back. If you want, you could bend the right knee, reach for the right foot with your left hand, and just relax here. A few more breaths here. And seeing if you can really let go and appreciate the relatively still movement. We're still moving because we're breathing, but we're not moving our arms and legs as much. We're letting gravity help us relax. Release your right foot if you're holding it. Bend your knees, coming back into your twist. And lower your hips back down. Center your hips on the mat. Bring your knees up for happy baby. And just rock a little bit from side to side. Release your feet, lower down, and I'll be here with you for a short savasana, and you are welcome to stay longer if you like. But just think of letting go, letting everything relax. Let your fingers relax and your toes relax. All around your shoulders and your neck, your throat. Very slowly, turn your head from side to side. And make your way up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope that you feel like a sensation of fluidity in your body with a sense of inner peace, but also a sense of brightness and feeling alive. I would love to hear from you. If you can leave a comment below, share this with your friends, hit the like button, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.